Hey, welcome back to Fixing Things. A while back when I was using my new helmet, I was getting frustrated with it. And I got it for Christmas. My son bought it for me, my son, because I bought him one. And he says, I'll do my dad a favor and I'll buy him a Welding helmet too. And he bought me the same style and he got me the one that kind of looks like the Marvel character Iron Man. And I got him the skeleton looking one. And he says his works fine. Mine had a problem from day one. It just didn't want to darken. And I'd leave it in the sun with the auto darkening. And then someone told me, says, well, did you replace the batteries in it? Well, I thought it was rechargeable, right? Kind of like my DeWalt. Well, it is rechargeable. But batteries have a lifespan. And the lifespan determines on how many times it can get recharged, or if they just sit too long with no charge on them or a minimum charge, the batteries will deteriorate. It's better to have a full charged battery sitting on a shelf than one that's, say, a quarter charged or a half charge. Now, I've run my DeWalt batteries down, but they got safety mechanisms inside the battery so that it doesn't get past a certain point. Same thing with the lithium ion car batteries. They have a cutoff point so the battery doesn't get below the safety level, which causes deterioration. It's going to get deterioration over time anyways. But the thing is to have your batteries last as long as they can. That is the secret. So what I found out was the batteries that they put in these things were probably old, sitting on a shelf when you get them, and the lifespan is already diminished. And by the time it was sitting in a store for a year, the batteries are getting diminished. By the time you get it on your face, the batteries are diminished. So it's good to put a fresh set of batteries in your helmet. So I got these off of eBay. They have a date code on the battery. It says like, how new is the battery? Now these are rechargeable. They're lithium ion. It has a little charging thing up here on the top. Also has a little sensor off to one side that says, hey, put me on dim. Now, my old Western something helmet, man, I've never put batteries in that. That thing is antique old. I've had that thing for 30 years. And today, it's starting to act up. I went outside and put it in direct sunlight, and it wasn't shading. I gotta put batteries in that thing too. It's just old. Batteries are old. And you know what today is? Today is the 8th when the solar eclipse happens. My wife says, well, if we're going to sit around the house, we might as well have watch the eclipse. Well, so I did some research, and you got to have a 12 shade or better. So I checked all my gear. All my gear goes up to 13 shade. We're well within the safety parameters of watching the sun directly on. But if the battery goes dead while you're looking at the sun, now you're only at the mercy of whatever the shade is, which is probably a 2 or a 3, the natural shade, which is only the equivalent of some sunglasses. So make sure you get your batteries replaced in your helmet every so often. So we're going to... this brand is called Save Pays, and we're going to replace the batteries in this helmet. I've never done it before on this model helmet, so this will be a first for me, and hopefully I can share this with you. So on this helmet, I lost one of the set screws already. I picked it up and I heard the set screw fall out of it. There's four set screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. and just loosen them up a little bit with a pair of pliers, because I got them torqued down from when I put the helmet together. So today, sometime today, the solar eclipse is going to happen. You shouldn't be out. That's the end of the world. Jesus is coming. Jesus is not coming with this solar eclipse. This I know for a fact. Because if Jesus was coming and he was going to darken the sky for 3 days, he would do it around the world. See, something that just, the solar eclipse is just a shadow. It's just a shadow is all it is. It's not, like nothing spooky. It's just a shadow. No different than when your hand makes a shadow on the ground. It's blocking the sun. All right, I got one out. You can also get shades to put over it to give it even a darker tint. Or even shades to put on the inside, so you can start with a darker tint. And if you're using really high-powered welding, I usually use like a level 10-ish when I'm doing my welding. Once you get that piece comes off. And now what? Let's see here. The whole thing should just pop out. This little thingy right here comes off. And I think it just pops in and pops out. Yeah. So this is the whole device right here. And then it's got a pop-in glass you can put in there, and I got spares. And I think it's got a little battery thingy. Got a little battery thingy right here, I think. Doesn't say that's the battery. If I break it, then so much for my thing. There it is. So it's got this little slide-in thing. And you want to make sure you get your batteries facing in the same direction. One battery's facing up, one battery's facing down. Oh, one dropped out super easy. I got it. All right. I got my two batteries. And I'm going to take some needle nose pliers, and I'm going to do these one at a time. That one's here. And you can test them to see if they're good. Put them in the same way you took it out. Then we simply take the little cartridge, is it all the way in? There, my wife is back home. And it's supposed to just slide right back in. There it goes. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to bash it with a hammer. Alright, so here's what the unit looks like. It's got the little solar panel. It's got sensors on it. It's got your adjustments. So here's your shade. You can turn it all the way up to 13. I usually leave it down here on 10 for my welding and stuff like that. I don't do plasma cutter with it because then I have to turn around and change the setting. A good dark set of safety glasses, level 8 or 9, is good for plasma cutter. But for welding, it's really bright. So, and depending on the intensity of your welder and now the heat range you're running, you want one that can go up higher. Somewhere between 10 and 11 is normal for like your MIG welding and stuff like that. Let's take this before we put it back together. Let's take it outside and give it a test run. So I'll put it in front of the lens and see how dark it got. I don't know where the lens is on this side. And there you go. Safely see the sun. So now I can safely look at the sun. Let's get this back in the helmet. All right, so now we know it works, and I don't have to bash it with a hammer. So what we're going to do is put this part of it back inside the helmet. And it pretty much pops into place. And it's got this little glass ring thing, safety thing on it. And that goes, and there's another little plastic thingy. And this should just pop on like that. Put your thumb screws back in, and I'm gonna find that other thumb screw. That bugs me. I can probably buy these online. It's gonna be nice welding with a helmet that darkens and doesn't jitter. And it was starting to jitter, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't it wouldn't darken, and I'll be welding, all of a sudden my eyes are burning. Let me give it a really good snug with the pair of pliers. There you go. Now this helmet is safe to weld with, and turned up to level 13 or 12 and higher, it's safe to look at the sun for the solar eclipse. Hey, God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next Fixing Things with Pastor Bill. Man, I'm going to go out there and look at the sun right now. That's going to be good.